The station wagons arrived at noon, a long shining line that coursed through the West Campus. In single file, they eased around the orange I-beam sculpture and moved toward the dormitories. The roofs of the station wagons were loaded down with carefully secured suitcases full of light and heavy clothing.
Dear friends across the sea, may I tell you something of my home, my family, and my country, that my children may play with the friends of their choosing, that they, when of age, may go to the school of their choosing, study what they want, and prepare themselves for a future filled with unlimited opportunities. That while going to school and choosing their friends, they are learning that people can live together in peace. True, they have their childish arguments, but they are soon past. Here are some of the things my children learn here in America. To make a better land than ever before in which to live for themselves, their children, and all generations to come. To worship God in whatever manner they choose. To live with others as a friend and in peace. To be honest and truthful always. That they need never know fear of oppression. To respect their parents and elders. To go where they want and whenever they want. To choose their friends.
The junk food still in shopping
If I were the Prince of Darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flame.
Well, the people gonna spread like mustard on bread. Gonna cover the coast now, like butter on toast.
If I were the Prince of
Anti-war demonstrators protest U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War in mass marches, rallies, and demonstrations. Central Park is the starting point for the parade to the UN building. The estimated 125,000 Manhattan marchers include students, housewives, beatnik poets, doctors, businessmen, teachers, priests, and nuns. Makeup and costumes were bizarre. Before the parade, mass draft card burning was urged. Demonstrators claimed 200 cards were burned, but no accurate count could be determined. Reporters and onlookers were jostled away on purpose. Although mostly peaceful, shouted confrontations were frequent and fiery during the course of the march. The anti-war marchers were picketed by anti-war marchers who were hawkish toward the parading
so I'd set
dove.
about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would
So the 25th Space Shuttle mission is now on the way after more delays than NASA cares to count. This morning it looked as though they were not going to be able to get off.
1 minute 15 seconds, velocity 2,900 feet per second, altitude 9 nautical miles, downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Before the parade, mass draft card burning was urged. Demonstrators claimed 200 cards were burned. No accurate count could be determined. Reporters and onlookers were jostled away.
Looks like a couple of the solid rocket boosters blew away from the side of the shuttle in an explosion.
Dear friends across the sea, may I tell you something of my home, my family, and my country? My children may play with the friends of their choosing, that they, when of age, may go to the school of their choosing, study what they want, and prepare themselves for a future filled with unlimited opportunities.
We have
That
to
while
listen.
going
I
to
didn't say we
school
have to
and choosing
agree,
their
but we have to
friends,
listen.
they are learning
We
that
have
people
to
can
respond.
live
We have to
together
hear
in
what he's
peace.
saying because he's
True,
the only
they have their
national
childish
politician
arguments.
left who talks to those who have nothing to do with the system or the suits who run it. The president motorcades through L.A. Clinton says what he's going to do, and Perot at least suggests that he's working on an answer. But as sincere as these guys might be, to the folks on the streets and in the ghettos and on the unemployment line, living poor, real poor, to them it's all a bunch of words and promises never kept. I mean, just a rumor of a police shooting started a riot in Minneapolis. It turned out, of course, not to be true. A cop didn't shoot anybody. But even just a rumor was enough to ignite the short fuse of discontent that currently pervades urban America. Forget who's to blame. It's too late for that. The supremely gifted make it out, but most, of course, don't. Thanks.
The tower, the second tower, the one a bit further to the south of us, has collapsed. We are checking on that. We're also told that the second tower in Chicago has been evacuated, and what I can't tell you on that is whether there was something specific that happened there, whether there was an attack on that building yet, we're checking that out, or whether there was a warning, whether there was a threat of some sort, or whether that is simply precautionary. What we can tell you is that just in the last several minutes here, 2 or 3 minutes, a second or third, I guess technically, extraordinary event has happened here in Lower Manhattan. You can see this extraordinary plume of smoke that is, or was, the second tower, the World Trade Center.
Absolute. We cannot give amnesty. Now,
they want to build the wall. Make it out, but
we need the wall. Border Patrol, ICE, they all want the wall. We stop the drugs. We shore up the border. One of my first acts will be to get all of the drug lords, all of the bad ones. We have some bad people in this country that have to go out. We're going to get them out. We're going to secure the border. And once the border is secured, at a later date, we'll make a determination as to the rest. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to keep them out.
I have been for border security for years. I voted for border security in the United States Senate. And my comprehensive immigration reform plan, of course, includes border security. But I want to put our resources where I think they're most needed. Getting rid of any violent person, anybody who should be deported, we should deport them. When it comes to the wall that Donald talks about building, he went to Mexico, he had a meeting with the Mexican president, didn't even raise it, he choked, and then got into a Twitter war because the Mexican president said, we're not paying for that.
The station wagons arrived at noon, a long shining line that coursed through the West Campus. In single file, they eased around the orange I-beam sculpture and moved toward the dormitories. The roofs of the station wagons were loaded down with carefully secured suitcases full of light and heavy clothing.